Hey homie, and they ain't really start hating till my seat throw me. And I ain't asked for the crown, I just passed up the crowd. So high when I'm sitting first class in the clouds, like I traveled 93 million actual miles. Back home off the plane like LeBron with the trophy. Call your group one whatever, one hood, the one and only. We the only thing out here poppin'. Only thing out here poppin'. Only thing, we the only thing out here poppin'. We them guys, you can't stop us.
Okay, it didn't have to be my verse, but welcome. You know, we switched it up today. We wanted to switch the song up. This is This Week in Black Excellence today. You know what I'm saying? We gonna deal with white. You know, it's white supremacy. We're gonna deal with that a little bit later on, but we're gonna start with some black excellence. First of all, speaking of black excellence, why don't I have my co-hosts introduce themselves? Let's start with Miracle. Why don't you introduce yourself, Miracle? Tell them about your black excellence, Miracle.
Hi, y'all. It's your girl, Miracle. I'm tired, but I'm trying. I'm here, you know, working. Other half of the Wonder Twins, you know, the dark skin, chocolate to the butterscotch, you know, the country to the sophisticated, the whip to the wop. I'm here. We about to get into it.
Are you tired because you was out partying with our new mayor Ed Gainey last
night? No, I'm tired because I spent 8 hours in the back of the truck in this 80-degree weather.
That is true.
You was in the back seat?
I was in the back. I was in the bed.
For real.
You know,
stop that. Go ahead.
Don't see. I was trying.
See. Miracle and One Good Power.
I told y'all last week, you just gotta, you know, give grace. Yeah. Gotta give grace to light skins. That's why I try to tell y'all.
QRX, DJ QRX, Miracle, Ryan Kahari were in a U-Haul driving around the city, encouraging people to vote all day yesterday. So appreciate y'all for doing that. Mr. NLS, what's going on, brother?
You know, it's trouble never like supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. We in the building. You feel me? Your neighborhood hippie.
Absolutely. Right. You got to I see your plant. I see your plants in the back flourishing. You know what I'm saying? Flourishing from the sunlight.
They getting along, bro. Getting the blocks just like me.
And Mr. You came extra. You wanted to put your extra. Is I don't know. Is niggerish wrong? Is that wrong? But I mean, you got your wave cap. Is that wrong? Is that your black excellence? Your wave cap? you got the wave cap going, bro.
You know, listen, a man like me is in the desert right
Saeed,
now.
With the what?
With the Hualapai. You know, I'm in the land of the Hualapai natives, bro. This is their land.
Oh, I didn't know what that meant,
this is the Hualapai. I'm right next to the Hualapai reservation, bro. If I'm out here, you know, with the indigenous people. Listen, but we in the desert, and it's like Moses. You get me? If I took my wave cap off, it might just start a flood, and I might transform the whole terrain out here. You get me? So
I'm doing your wave cap is going to start a flood.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? I fuck up the ecosystem. I'll take this shit off.
It's going to start a flood. The humility is on there.
So, well, I mean,
I'm nothing if I'm not humble. I'm nothing if I'm not humble.
Miracle, this isn't about humility today. This is about celebrating our black excellence, right? I know sometimes, you know, we be sad, we be mad at what's going on, but we actually have a chance to celebrate today. You know, we did it, you know, collective we, not just one hood power, the collective we did it. You know, we came together, we put, you know, Ed Gainey is the Democrat nominee. Although I worked hard, I wasn't sure it was going to go down. You know, Pittsburgh be letting you down as a black person like so many times, like time and time again. Pittsburgh will let you down. And so I thought, hey, we're going to be let down again. But, you know, them votes started coming in and it was like, Ed's down 2,000, Ed's down 1,500, Ed's down 30 votes. What? And then, you know, boom, you know, smoke past Peduto, you know what I'm saying? So just how do y'all feel? Like, I felt good. I felt like, you know, we put ourselves out there. I'll just speak personally. I felt like I put myself out there. Like, I'm riding with Gainey. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Win or lose, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what it takes to help this brother get into office. And understanding that, you know, people had said that might mean not having access, you know, to the city if he possibly will lose, you know, some different things. that came up, but I was like, nah, I'm riding with my brother. And so I did feel, like, man, like that hard work paid off. Kind of like what Miracle said. Yeah, I'm tired, but I felt like that hard work paid off. How did y'all feel? Miracle, how did you feel?
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, so I'm a pass it to someone else. I'm gonna let everyone enjoy.
Oh, come on, man. Miracle
Say, yo, this is a safe space. Miracle,
you want to smack the ice cream sundae on the ground, Miracle. You don't even.
Oh, I want y'all to have joy. I want y'all to celebrate. Okay, let me say. Okay, let me.
No. Let's wait. Hold on. We'll come to you last, then, Miracle.
I'm gonna lie. Let me lie right quick. I was just so happy about the results, and I'm just so happy that people I would say I'm happy that people organized. I'm happy that people got out the vote and people got together. We had an umbrella, a rainbow coalition, and I'm happy that we got to see those results. So I'm happy about the people and the relationships and the fact that we all had to be threatened and blacklisted to get some folks, to get on the freedom side. But y'all came, and I'm happy. But I'm happy to see the results of people power, and I will pass it on to somebody else.
Okay. How about you, NLS? How did you feel? You know what I'm saying?
All right. So it's interesting because I'm in this space where it's like I don't really trust politics too much, So it's like it doesn't make me feel any strong feelings unless Trump gets reelected, Then I'll feel some pretty strong feelings. But right. I don't know. It's like I'm kind of interested in seeing what this will look like for Pittsburgh, right. And what this looks like as one hood, since we have a mayor that we have direct contact with, who we know will talk to us. So It's like I'm interested to see just how this goes down,
Right. What does that mean? And you know what? You are pretty even kid. You're to know you is to know you're never super high, super low. You're always pretty even keel. Personality wise, so that's interesting. What's up, Saeed, man? How you feeling right now?
Yo, so last night I'm not gonna lie, I was excited, but not for the fact that it was. I like Ed personally. Cool brother, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be objective here. I thought it was dope because I'm gonna speak, but one hood. This changes our position in the city. But to see, 205 years Pittsburgh has been around, and you see the first time you have a black person and that type of leadership. That's very telling, right? It's very telling, and that's kind of what I was looking at. We were tweeting out and Instagram and all the things about history, and this isn't to diminish Ed. It's just the fact that it took 200 years for Pittsburgh to have, which Pittsburgh in a lot of circles is viewed as a black city, even though we know it's not. Black people make up a large part of the city, and now we finally have a mayor that represents that. Now it ain't Detroit, it's not DC, but for that type of representation to occur, for all the other things on the ballot, 3 black women got in, Chelsea got in, you know what I mean? There was a lot that happened yesterday that was quite monumental. It's not just about Ed, it's about all of the, the black excellence that's got into these elected positions now. I'll tell you what though, what Miracle was talking about, the cynicism, I echo that because I'm waiting for the white people in the city, all the Yinzers, to be like, well, why is he got to be the first black mayor? Wait.
But before we get to that, because we're going to get to that. We're going to get
seriously, you will not rain on his black excellence parade.
No, I'm just saying, because I think you brought up a great point that we have not talked about. It wasn't just Ed Gainey. You know what I'm saying? You did have these 2 ballot measures, shout out to Alliance for Police Accountability for doing, the petitioning work to get these ballot measures on the ballot around solitary confinement, around no-knock warrants. I know we work with Straight Ahead and the Abolitionist Law Center to produce some commercials around that. Shout out to JM and Miracle for the work that you did around that to get that word out. So to see those ballot measures pass, to see 5 women, we pushed this progressive slate of judges, the slate of 8, to see 5 out of the 8, all 5 women, get on that for judge, 3 black women, You know what I'm saying? That was the powerful thing, you know what I'm saying? And so like you said, we saw, folks that were, we saw, Black Women for Better Education, put a slate up. They had 2 victories last night that were powerful. We saw some magistrates, you know what I'm saying, change hands. I think the first non-binary politician in this area won in magistrate. So it wasn't just Ed, you know what I'm saying? It was this kind of collective effort. And like Miracle said, it was, One Hood Power and APA PAC and Unite and One PA, you know what I'm saying? All of these other organizations straight ahead kind of collectively coming together and pushing. So it was like this cool collective victory. But it is also, like you said, Pittsburgh is a quarter Black. Now we have, possibly the first Black mayor. For me, particularly because I felt like a lot of Peduto's issues were with Black people, and it was for me, it was how he behaved during the uprising of 2020. That was the moment that we basically said, nah, or at least me, I said, I can't really rock with you, not wanting to sit down with Black organizers, not wanting to sit down with protesters, feeling like, he had said, like, he's been in Black neighborhoods for 31 years, like all of this, arrogance in the face of like Black people just wanting to, see a different way of life for us, despite the fact that, the city said this was the worst place for Black women, despite the fact that like, folks were coming up and talking about defunding the police. He said, I never heard nobody say defund the police, no organization. He didn't show up to the Black Women's Roundtable debate, you know what I'm saying? And so like, to me, for him to really almost like, turn his back on, Black organizers and Black organizations, it was only fitting that these organizations came together and got him up out of there. You had something, Fruit?
Yeah, what I wanted to say was just like, that piece that Vice did, it was very interesting that he again took that arrogant white man tone. I've been in Black neighborhoods longer than these organizers have lived. Right. That is one of the most arrogant and Caucasian statements that I've ever heard a Democratic politician make. That's, in my opinion, that's no different than Joe Biden's super predator comment, because you're asserting, you're placing your lived whiteness in front of lived Blackness in these neighborhoods. Yeah. And what also I thought was super dope was, be it a campaign tactic or not, we see Ed out when Ed got on Instagram Live with Black Young and Educated. After Bill called them liars, after Bill dismissed them, devalued them on the most public of forums.
True.
He did this on a national forum to these young organizers. And Ed, he came out to these events, took the time 2 days before the primary to speak to the people Bill directly shitted on. Right. That's again, campaign tactic or not, I respect that. Like, I appreciate that. There's an authenticity to that.
Right. And like you said, I don't know, like, why do the Vice interview? Vice has a big platform. Why do the Vice interview if you're going to go on there and talk bad about again? Like, I just don't understand, like, who's advising this dude? Is he just, are people trying to tell him stuff and he just ignoring them? I just didn't understand, what he was. Remember the morning of the election, he came out and basically said this is a battle between progressives and socialists. Like, he actually called Ed Gainey a socialist. When did he say that?
I didn't even know that.
The morning of the actual election day. And so it just was like,
I was on a plane. That's why I didn't see that shit.
Yeah, this is, to me, like, calling Ed a socialist, calling protesters a radical left. It's very Trumpian how he was behaving. And I just, like I said, maybe we'll learn afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just curious as to what, his advisors were saying to him. And like, if he was just totally dismissive of them, it's just weird, because I saw, a post from Tyranny. Shout out to Tyranny, because she's one of my favorite files on Twitter. If you don't follow her, and she was talking about, like, she used to hang out with Bill Perdue. She was like, I used to hang out with this guy. We used to kick it. This person currently right now is not the guy that I used to hang out with. So I'm just curious as to, was it coming to protest at your house, bro? Like, we just want to see a better city. We didn't want to, mess your lawn up. I don't know what it was, but we got Ed. I'm going to do my little Okay, so I'm done celebrating Miracle. So I'm coming to you, Miracle. I'm coming to you.
No, we can stay on the celebration of Black excellence.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out Jake Wheatley, because he was one of the first people on Team Gainey. But today he made a post and said, shout out to, these Black women who support me and who are sometimes my opposition. As politicians, it's your duty and your job to understand that we are not always going to agree on the policies. Black people are not a monolith. And one of the reasons I appreciate Jake is I've always been able to have a conversation. Like, you need to do more here. I need you to do X, Y. And he has been receptive. Even if he has disagreed with some of the policies and the positions and the platforms that we've advocated or taken up, he's always been willing to listen and to engage. And so I think one of the things that for a lot of us as Black people in the city were really hurt when Peduto basically kind of was like, any criticism is a personal attack against me. If you're personally attacking me, you're personally attacking the city. And it was like, no, bro, we need you to understand your reality is not our reality. We have different experiences, and you need to take that into account. And I think that a lot of politicians made a concerted effort to become more conservative. I don't think it was a mistake. I think that they're intentionally trying to be more conservative to take more of these Trumpian votes, because the Republicans are very organized. You look at the statewide measures to rescind some of the powers and limit the powers of Governor Wolf. It passed by a landslide. And so what they're trying to do is be like, hey, we don't like these colors either. We think there's too much progress. Why red bait if you're trying to get people who are left or progressive? And so he made a mistake. And I think people need to understand, if you want to be a conservative, just say that. If you don't support Black and brown folks, just say that. Don't play the fence, because we can see through it, and we're not going to vote for people who don't have our interests at heart.
I think that was a great point. There's a political divisiveness right now that exists, specifically within the Republican Party, and the Republican Party now is in a schism between the traditional GOP and the Trump GOP. And with them taking that stance, you know what I mean, breaking that vote up, and a lot of these, these kind of left-leaning or, right-leaning liberals, or however you want to phrase it, right-leaning progressives, whatever they call themselves, are seeing that hey, that's a giant fan base. Trump left a void, a chasm in the voting base, and it's fractured. And that's a group that's gonna feel alienated. So anything even reminiscent of a Trumpian, phrase or something like that, they're gonna go after. They're gonna eat that shit up.
But I think it might have worked if not for Moreno, and the fact that there was an actual police officer, ex-police officer in the race, that also voted well for Ed Gainey. But this is the question, and I'm gonna start with you, Miracle. Now that Pittsburgh has elected a Black Democratic nominee for mayor, does this mean now that Pittsburgh is no longer racist? We saw somebody tweet out, are you going to say Pittsburgh? Are you still going to say Pittsburgh is a racist city because we have a Black man that's the Democratic nominee for mayor?
Yeah, he hasn't even won yet. Number one. Number two,
thank you for coming in tonight. We'll see you next week.
If a building is on fire, right, and it's a fire, and the fire department shows up, before they've even hooked up the hose to water, do we say, oh my God, the building is no longer on fire? I just don't understand y'all. And clearly y'all do not watch the show to even have such an asinine question. Yes, the system is still racist. Yes, the city is still racist. One, it hasn't won yet. We don't know what the city council is going to do. They can pull a Mitch McConnell and obstruct everything he does. These corporations could pull out of the city. There could be some funny stuff going on. Our CARES Act funding can be pulled. A lot of stuff can happen. And still, post-Obama, we have to understand one person rising to the top does not mean that everyone has risen to the top. Absolutely. One person getting part of the vote does not eliminate the fact there are thousands of people who didn't vote for Ed. There are still other folks who hate Black people. There are
True.
still maternal mortality. Wait, you raised your hand because you hate Black people.
No,
I told you.
I was asking a question.
I told that was a Freudian slip because I told you he's about to be our Republican podcaster. See, I said 6 months. And it's only been 2 weeks, but. We still have to get with our fair and affordable housing. We still have to talk about environmental issues.
True.
We still talk about our educational issues. We still have all these things we have to address, and they have not been fixed. Representation is not liberation. We have to make actual changes before we can sit there and say we are no longer racist. We haven't done anything, no policy, nothing.
Right.
So, calm down.
Farouk, you had a question?
My Black hating friend.
I've seen it. What's JFC mean? I see this a lot. I have no idea what that means.
Okay, somebody tell us. Oh, I hope it's. It might mean Jesus. I'm guessing. I don't know. The first one might be Jesus. I don't want to say the rest. I don't want to disrespect nobody. Nobody's religion, but that's what I'm guessing.
I see that. I see people type that out all the time, and I just never knew what it meant.
So real quick, Mir, I think exactly. See, so right. So
that's what I was thinking.
So look. I did want to talk about you mentioned the city council. Shout out to Deb Gross too. You know what I'm saying? Because Deb Gross was the only city council person that stood with Ed Gainey. I think that is this? So I'll let you ask your question first, and then I'll come back to
why y'all always be trying to make me the bad person?
And I want to hear you.
I want to go against all.
No. I want to hear you weigh in as well. Treble, is now Pittsburgh post-racial? All right, so Farouk, floor is yours, sir. Just Siri Project.
So what are you asking me? I was reading the comments. I'm sorry. What are you asking me?
You said you had somebody said just Siri Project. I'm sorry.
I'm processing.
You said you had a question for Miracle.
Oh no, that was it.
Oh, what JFC meant. Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah.
Okay. So Treble, are we post-racial?
Bro, this is such a stupid question because it's like if I get my license today and start driving, at any point I'm at risk of being pulled over, being shot at, you know what I'm saying? Being profiled in some way, shape, or form. Saying I might fit some description somewhere. I might get denied a job in the corporate world if I were to go with my locks out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like just because someone is in a place of power that looks like us does not mean that white people will see that like, you know what? Black people aren't bad, I guess.
I'm not going to pull that black guy over today because
because we have a black man.
No, because you make a great point because when Obama became president, we saw a rise in actual police brutality incidents and it was almost like you saw this white lash. And so I think this is, where as black people, it's okay, when I did the interview with Vice News, they asked me, this didn't make it to the video. What they asked me, is Pittsburgh ready for a black mayor? And I was like, well, if Pittsburgh ain't ready, Pittsburgh better get ready. You know what I'm saying? And so, but as black people, we always got to be in fear of okay, now how's the police going to react? Their man lost. Now they're looking at a black man that's over the police who said openly that he wanted to demilitarize the police, who said openly that he wanted to take a stronger role and discipline police officers. Is that going to mean now that just like you said, I might get pulled over? Is the officer going to be mad or not? Y'all done lost Trump. Now all of a sudden this black dude is over Pittsburgh. Is there? I mean, we saw, this is a place where the FBI said we had some of the highest instances of, white supremacist activity. Should we fear some white lash possibly because of Ed Gainey taking on this role?
I say absolutely, because look at how Pittsburgh reacted to a black quarterback. Look how they reacted to a black head coach. Look how they react to black baseball players. What would make a black mayor any less susceptible to, scrutiny and white supremacy?
Right.
With anybody legitimately posing that question is just looking for an idea to cast aside oh, Pittsburgh can't be racist. I can't be racist because I live in a city with a black mayor. They want to ostracize themselves from racist nomenclature, racist words, but not racist activities. They want to distance themselves from oppressive optics, but not actual white supremacy. And that's Pittsburgh as it is. It's like they want to be this inclusive area except for black people, i.e. gentrification. Like we can sit here and go on about this all the time and just sit here and talk about it. But if you really and truly have to ask that question, look at Pittsburgh public schools.
Yeah.
Period. Look at
Pittsburgh public schools. You just made me think of something super dope. You just made me think about how like Ed Gainey. So it's like you have to look at it like racism is a system, right? And Ed Gainey has a position within a system that still has racist ideologies. You know
100%.
And as long as this racist system is still upheld and still has the effect that it has, and there are still racist policies stopping certain black people from getting certain opportunities and whatever else they're doing, then it's not going to be post-racial. We're going to have to change this entire shit from a systemic standpoint.
Yeah.
And why do we have to be like post-racial? I don't understand. Right? Like, why can't we just be like let people just exist? Why can't we be in like a let people be society? Like, why do we have things post-racial? Like, we don't need to erase race and erase our differences. We need to like understand that we all have a different perspective and different experiences, and that's okay. We don't need to be out here creating policies that harm and hurt folks, that ignore folks. I don't want to live in a post-race. I like being racial. I like showcasing my blackness. I like talking about black excellence and black pain and joy and blackness. And so I don't want that to be erased. What I want it to be is celebrated, and I want to feel safe in my blackness. I don't want to have to be unapologetically black because the system of supremacy makes it so hard for people to be black and happy and healthy. And so for me, I hope that like these changes are coming. I know for a lot of black people, they're talking about we having cookouts, we're having barbecues, we turning up. They're excited for the hope and the possibility, because Ed is someone who has fought and has been on the side of working class people. I do fear that like Ed's big tent unity thing is going to make it so that a lot more people are going to have access to him, and it's going to slow some progress down. But I'm very hopeful and excited for what the policies can be, for what actual change without 50 million committees and commissions are going to be like. And so I'm hopeful that we can see some actual like policies and changes, you know, in these next couple of years.
I agree. And I think like we also have to understand the narrative, like beyond Ed, like, yes, we're happy that Ed won, but really this was a victory for organizers. You know, this was a victory for black organizers, young organizers. You know, this was a victory for LGBTQIA organizers. This was progressive folks. Like, this was also our victory. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all came together, you know, because beyond Ed, you know, the slate of 8, like a lot of people, and a lot of these organizations are new. You know, 100 Power is a few years old. You know, a lot of these organizations, when you talk about APA's PAC, when you talk about Straight Ahead, we talk about Unite, we talk about Black Women for Better Education, these are fairly new organizations, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, if we can accomplish what we accomplished yesterday in such a short period of time, like, what happens, what happens when we actually have some funding, some, like, real funding, which we really did not have, you know, in this election? What happens when we can build a stronger base? What happens when we continue to work together collectively? Like, we can actually remake this city into a city that is someplace where we can have that feeling, a miracle of safety and security and liberation. So that's what I'm more excited about. I'm more excited about our future if we continue to collectively work together, organize together, and continue to build Pittsburgh into this place where progressive movements are happening right now. Because we got other races coming up. We got a Senate race coming up. We got a governor race. We got a DA's race. We got other races coming up. And guess what? You know, if we put those ballot measures on there and they pass, what are some other ballot measures that we want to think about? What are some other changes that we want to take place to the home rule charter? So to me, it's like there's a lot of possibilities that we have. let's continue to work together collectively to like, because like we said, we knew like nobody was they're not gonna do it for us. There wasn't some paternalistic white, politician that was gonna wave a wand and all of a sudden make Pittsburgh better for black people. It had not happened. So it's like for us to collectively come together and say, you know what, we're going to back a candidate, we're going to put that person in, and we're going to hold that person accountable to make this city better for everybody. That's where we're coming from. Hey,
I would like to say one thing though. There's a part of our viewership that thinks that like we're hardcore Democrats and we do everything to the song and dance of the Democratic candidates wherever they are. This doesn't mean we won't be critical of Ed because we know him and because he comes from the community. You know what I mean? Like we want him to be able to do the best, but we also understand that it's politics, right? Now this is me speaking for me, but like we still will absolutely, call to attention anything that we feel, is detrimental or deserves to be questioned specifically as it pertains to our community. So it doesn't, just because we have a black mayor, that doesn't mean one hood don't show up no more. That don't mean we don't, say the work is over with. Well, nah, we still got all kinds of things to do. Like,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, this is still symbolism. Right. This isn't a marker for change. This doesn't guarantee us any type of freedoms or lifting any oppression off of our necks the moment we come out. Like Pittsburgh is still the Mississippi of the North. Pittsburgh is still, right in the middle of one of the most heavily laden white supremacist areas in the country. So just because we have a little bit of insulation now in the city from the mayor, that doesn't mean anything for us as average citizens.
Yeah,
I do want to do like
we're gonna make it the Mecca though. We're gonna go from the Mississippi to the Mecca, Farouk.
The Mecca.
So I want to do a hood translation of what Farouk just said. Basically, we are real niggas, so we're gonna call it like we see it. We still stand on the side of the people. So whatever the people say they want. If we see some shit that's a little sketchy, we're going to make sure we say something about it. You know what I'm saying? And being that we're so close to the mayor now, we have a better access to be like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
I don't have access to that. I don't have access to Ed. I don't know Ed like that. So do not come yelling at me. I don't have any accountability or responsibility. One. Number two, Angela Davis said, well, when we talk about electoral politics, it is the ability to pick your enemy, because all, politicians are problematic, right? I like to say all politicians are trash without hurt people's feelings. So I would say all politicians are problematic. And so for us, we're always going to critique any politician, any policies that fail. And at the end of the day, we saw a bunch of people running, a bunch of black folks running. And I hate to talk about this, but these are people who have been making changes for years, whether it was the magistrates, whether it was the Court of Common Pleas candidates. These are people who have been fighting for the betterment of the people. And I know I've seen a lot of critiques about our slate of 8 and how we picked folks. We picked folks who cared about criminal justice. You can't sit there and threaten to shoot a black person in your courtroom and be the picture in the face of criminal justice reform. And so what we were looking at is, before 5 years ago, who was advocating and fighting for Black lives? Before Trump, who was advocating for Black people and Black lives? Who has
one hood been around since 2006?
Yeah.
Yes. But that's how we looked at people. I understand a lot of people had a great awakening these past couple of years, and I don't take anything from that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be in a position of power for the next 10 years, we have to make sure that those folks that we put in are not someone who just had a moment of enlightenment, who will then turn around and get in a position of power and revert back to their previous practices. And so when we're looking at Black people being in the jail, when we're looking at Black people being in solitary confinement, we're looking at our Black kids being in an adult solitary confinement, it's like, who are we putting up and why? And that's how we got our slate of 8 candidates. And for those of you who are mad about that, work harder, show up more. Like,
yeah.
that's what you have to do. And I get people are hurt that we didn't do endorsements, but also we try to reach out to everyone. A lot of people didn't respond to our questionnaires. A lot of people refused to come on our shows. And even with Mayor Perdita, we still reached out to him. There's been multiple on all of our platforms. We invited him on. He didn't want to come, and so that's not our fault. Your perception of us doesn't match the reality of who we are. And so don't get mad at us because we're out here unapologetically fighting for Black and brown people. At the end of the day, we get called out all the time. People come for us all the time, and we still engage. We still take those rocks and we keep moving. And so if we can do it, we know that our politicians can do it as well. And that's what we expect. And so, yeah, I think this past campaign season was really hurtful for a lot of us. Right? Because nobody likes to have their elected officials attacking them and messing with their money and their reputation. But hopefully this enters into a new era of better communication and engagement with elected officials so that we can actually work together, because we all have to rise together. We all have to work together, and we all have to be in community together.
It's interesting that you say that, because I really like the scorecard. And for me, like voting, it actually helped me vote. Like I took the scorecards with me when I went in to fill out my ballot, and it made it a lot easier to make my selections and make my vote. So I really liked the idea of doing it the scorecard way. Instead of just saying, okay, this is somebody we endorse, we actually said, here are the things we're concerned about. We gave folks a questionnaire, and we gave you opportunity. This person was excellent. This person was fair. You make the decision based on so I really like that process. And I thought it was most telling, like I said, the day before the election, I thought it was telling like that, there were 4 people running for mayor. 3 of them were white men, and none of those 3 white men responded. The fact that we are a Black-led organization, like Farouk said, we've been in it, as One Hood, the name has been around. We've been around since 2006, although One Hood Power is new. We doing all these shows. We have this network. We have this platform. I thought it was telling that, like, basically none of these white men chose to respond, particularly if you're telling me that you're running based upon, like, uniting the city. I'm trying to take 2 Pittsburghs into 1 Pittsburgh. Okay, well, as a Black-led organization, like, you don't respond to us. The Black women's, policy forum, you don't show up. It's like, well, how are you telling me on one hand that this is what you want, but on the other hand, we don't see that? And so I really liked the scorecard idea. I thought it allowed us to engage people beyond just like an interview and like this is what our organization thought. But I thought it broadened it up. You know what I'm saying? So personally, like it was helpful to me. And and that was the process that we chose as an organization. And you know what? Nothing stopping anybody from putting an organization together and doing your slate. Like nothing stopping, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing is stopping you. And to say that, like, kind of like what you said about engaging, we had our Get Out the Vote event, and there was a brother that came, and the brother had endorsed Peduto. And I just, Farouk was with me. I just said, hey, bro, like, tell me why. Just break it down. And we had a good conversation. It wasn't like, this is my brother. Like, I said, well, tell me, he had a slate of people. I said, how did you get there? Tell me your process and what you thought. And we chopped it up, man. We had like a 15-minute conversation, exchanged information, said we was going to work together because just, this is bigger than who you want to vote for mayor. You know what I'm saying? This is a brother that's doing work at Homewood. Bro, let's connect. Like, let's build. And so, like you said, like we're always willing to chop it up and talk with people that might have a difference of opinion of us. We not here as the experts. We not here saying, we know everything, but we got it right last night, though, didn't we? Though we got to get.
And we do. I reached out to Black Republicans. I reached out to Black socialists, Black independents. Some people don't fuck with us, and that's like it hurts at the end of the day because we understand that Black people are not a monolith, and we all have different ideas, and we try to like get everyone on the show. But like some people, they made a decision that we were against the establishment, and they wanted to be in bed with the establishment. But at the end of the day, we're here for everyone.
Look at this. Look at this, Miracle. Come on.
Yeah, a lot of people did. It's good. We tried. I'm gonna say next time. I'm not calling and texting people to get these questionnaires. Like, I'm gonna need y'all's managers to do better.
I just thought this was a funny comment. a bowl full of regrets. I just
Like,
thought that was-
but we emailed, we slid in people's DMs. Like, hey, we have this questionnaire. Can you make sure you fill it out? We emailed managers. We were always talking to folks to get people on. We had Republicans and Democrats. Like, I literally was messaging Republican candidates. Like, here's our slate. Like, can you fill out this questionnaire? Because we want everyone to get involved and people to feel comfortable with these processes. So, like, yeah, I mean, vote on, get involved, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. So should we move on to some national stuff, or are we just going to stay? We got 15 minutes left, or are we just going to stay with what's next for Pittsburgh? What y'all want to do?
I mean, if we talk about Pittsburgh, man, you know, we can talk about all the systemic things, but Pittsburgh, in my opinion, is just, you know, you can extrapolate all the problems out of Pittsburgh and put it nationally. You get me? Like, you know what I mean? Pittsburgh has proven to be kind of this case study for white supremacy over the past 3 years. Like, virtually every bad thing that could happen, I say this all the time, we hit the national tragedy lottery for 2.5 years consistently. You know what I mean? From Tree of Life all the way down. So we could talk about this, but, you know, Pittsburgh is indicative. It's reflective upon what the nation is. You know what I mean? And you know, especially we're only a few months away from the Capitol riots, and these niggas ain't even getting charged.
True.
These niggas, and then you know what I mean? But police.
Well, absolutely. Wait. There was a black dude,
of course,
that actually got charged at the Capitol because he went in there to shoot a music video. See, like, look, and you know,
that music video was hard though.
I was the king.
He was known for being thinking. I'm like, yo, he seen the opportunity. Like, yo,
yeah. And I was the king of shooting the video at the protest. Like, that was my brand for damn near 5 straight years. Like, I was at the protest with the camera. I was shooting the video, but I guess he sat on a SWAT vehicle, on top of a SWAT vehicle, and basically because of that, he was trying. And he said he went inside. He kept it a G with him. I went inside. I was shooting my music video, but the feds ain't trying to hear it. So although some of these other white people got up, I bet you they gonna throw the book at that black dude. I bet you they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he went live. Like, he couldn't deny it was him. I watched it live.
Well, I mean, his album cover, Miracle, is him sitting on top of a SWAT vehicle. You know what I'm saying? That's actually his album cover. It's called The Capitol.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I don't know if he's like the best rapper. I don't know if One Hood, you know, wants to work with him, you know, and his activist.
I mean, you know, when he gets out, you know what I'm saying? No, I hope he don't get jail time, but he is looking at some time. You know what I'm saying?
What are the charges? What are the charges?
Hold on. Let me find his charges. Was
it Broadnax Bugsy the Dawn?
Bugsy the Dawn is his name.
Dawn.
And he's facing unlawful entry and disorderly conduct. And
what
is that for?
He went inside.
They were putting shit on the walls inside, and he was just shooting a music video.
He was involved. He was backing people up. He was high-fiving the other black people who were clearly y'all didn't follow him when this was happening like I did.
No,
he was there because you know I was like, why is my black people embarrassing me? He was embarrassing. But he was there. He was riding with all the other folks. But he has like tattoos. He's in this like bright red outfit with his jewelry. You know, he didn't look like the other folks. You know, so.
And so he said he entered the building peacefully. He walked through taking pictures and videos of the architecture for his, you know, we gotta see.
He thought it was a museum trip. See, he thought he was just there on the museum because he heard the Washington DC had the free tours.
Speaking of that,
trying to get education.
Can we show that picture? There was a do you have that picture, John? There was a representative, a Republican representative. What's this dude's name? Clyde. That basically was trying to say that no, this wasn't what happened at the Capitol January 6th was not a riot. It was just basically he was like, it was tourists. It was tourists walking through the Capitol. This is him. This is a picture of this dude. He's not the dude with the gun. He's the other dude. He actually came out of his mouth a couple days ago and said he didn't see any rioting. He wasn't afraid. People are just there as tourists. Look at this dude's to this. He is shook.
Maybe he looks at tourists like that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, when you are descendants from slavers and colonizers, tours are actually violent and
I'm about to say,
harmful.
the only tour that's supposed to look like that is Jurassic Park. That's some wild shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, this nigga was shook.
I mean, we can talk about, I guess. Go ahead, Miracle.
How they literally beat police officers to death, literally fought back. All the stuff that they say
Blue Lives didn't matter that day.
They were out here damaging property, federal property, harming folks, fighting folks, committing all type of conspiracies, and it's just like, that was a Saturday afternoon,
right? And then it came out. It said that Donald Trump actually said he wanted his troops to protect his people, which I mean, like it makes sense, right? Trump knew that they were coming to try to do something to help him possibly stay in office. Trump, who's still out here saying it's the big lie. Trump, who I guess is like facing criminal charges right now. Shout out to the sister, Letitia James in New York. So you don't think that's gonna happen, Miracle? He not gonna face no criminal?
That man, listen. They might as well cut a deal with that, because if he goes, I don't think you're ever going to find 12 jurors to convict him. Because you're always going to have one or two Trump supporters who like, and you also have to listen. I'm not
even in New York City,
but my PPP fraudulent brethren out here, get caught up on these PPP. Everybody and their mama want to scam the government, and so I don't think people want to allegedly scam the government. I don't think people really want to like punish Trump, because, like I said, he did what everybody wants to do. He stole money. He committed fraud. He put his friends on. He covered for his friends. They did corruption. He was like Scarface without the drugs and the violence. And so people really like that he was able to amass power by breaking all the rules, because they want to be like him. And so nobody is going to be able to hold him accountable or responsible. And I think Tisha is trying, but I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get convicted. I think they're going to prove that he did it, and people are like,
So what I'm hearing is that you might have a better chance at getting him to face the blunt.
The blunt, sure. The blunt, yes.
So we did. I know we brought this up earlier, but we did ask the question: is when we talked about is Pittsburgh still a racist city? We didn't talk about the fact that it says for the third time this spring, swastikas was found inside a Mount Lebanon school district building. So this is still the place that Tree of Life took place at. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what's happening in Mount. Well, I mean, I guess I do know what's happening in Mount Lebanon. It's probably a bunch of.
Remember they said hate has no home there.
Oh, that was Mount Lebanon.
Hate has no home in Mount Lebanon, right? And then remember, Pittsburgh stronger than hate, right?
But 3 times though, clearly they have a couple homes.
I really don't
probably
get
a little timeshare or something.
Timeshare.
I don't get anti-Semitism. I don't get Asian. Like, I really do not get like hating folks. I really do not get writing swastikas. Like, I don't understand why people do this stuff in 2021. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't like somebody for who they are, what their religion are, like, something is like emotionally and mentally wrong with you, and you need to self-reflect. And if you're out here writing swastikas, why? You could do so many better things with art than just be an idiot and just a dumbass. And so I would hope that people just do better, because you had the main people are still doing slave auctions on TikTok. Like, at what point in 2021 can we just put like racism and bigotry behind us and be like, you know what, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it. It makes you old. It hurts your heart. Like, hate hurts your heart. Like, can you just do something different? Just love somebody. Try love.
Try love.
Not
I think that's a great way to end. Try love. Do we have a call to action? I don't know. Did we talk about
try love? Call to action.
Try love. You know what I'm saying? The barbecue.
That's a great call to action.
Is our call to action the barbecue? The barbecue celebration for Ed. I'm sorry.
Our call to action is donate to Black-led business organizations like One Hood Power and One Hood Media and Alliance for Police Accountability and One PA. They're Black-led, right? One PA is Black-led. All these organizations.
They're not Black-led, but they have. they have black people that they support, but they're not black led, just being, keeping it a G. You know what I'm saying?
That's why
straight ahead.
I'll be knowing.
Yeah. And then, shout out to Julius, who's in the comments. May is mental health month. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like that's a mental illness. Hey, tune in to On Tilt tomorrow. Get yourself some help. If you're just hating somebody based on like how they were born, like please get yourself some help. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those folks, if they had sat down with Julius before they ran up in the Capitol, they'd be a lot better off right now. You know what I'm saying? So we do have our white pages. Do you want to introduce our white pages, Miracle?
Talking about Black excellence, we're going to stay on the theme. And
Pittsburgh.
Punch Me Up to the Gods, a memoir by Brian. It's out. I got this at Whitewell, but also I believe like City Tiny, the tiny bookstore, also has it as well. Locally, local writer talking about his life, his journey with addiction, racism, bigotry, all things Pittsburgh. So please make sure you pick this up. It's a great book. So far, I've skimmed through it. People are talking about this is one of the best works in literary works in years. So please make sure you get Punch Me Up to the Gods, a memoir by Brian.
Yes, Punch Me Up to the Gods. That's our white pages. And support. I like that. Support Black people doing good and try love is our call to action. I'm
very interested in what that book title means. Punch Me Up to the Gods. What does that mean?
We're gonna have to somebody. How you just finished it? The book just came out. Dr. Russell talking about just finishing. You read it last night, Dr. Russell?
It says, I'm gonna read the opening jacket. Punch Me Up to the Gods introduces a powerful new talent in Brian Broom. I hope I said that right. Whose early years growing up in Ohio as a dark-skinned Black boy harboring crushes on other boys propelled forward this gorgeous, aching, and extraordinary debut. His recounting of his experience and all their cringeworthy, hilarious, and heartbreaking glory reveal a perpetual outsider trying to learn how to be a man in a place, in a family, in a community where everything he seems to run counter to everything he's supposed to be. Oh, this is really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of like maybe laugh, maybe cry, maybe think at the same time. So, shout out. I mean, it is amazing to see like Pittsburgh become this like Black literary force, with Damon, with Disha, now with Brian. Yeah, like all of these different authors really making this, national splash as authors is powerful. Also, definitely want to say, it is May 19th. It is a Black holiday. You know what I'm saying? Our brother Malcolm X born today. So, happy Malcolm X Day, you know what I'm saying? As well, speaking of Black excellence, we also lost a legend, man, today. And it's kind of ironic that he died on Malcolm's birthday because
God bless the dead, man.
He was like the Malcolm X of comedy for real. But
Paul famously said, Black folks can't have too much fun, man. You enjoy Paul Mooney too much. White folks gonna come and take him away.
White folks gonna come take him away. So a lot of people I know him from the Dave Chappelle show. I would say if you got a chance, go listen to Paul Mooney Race. That was an album that really, I had never heard a Black comedian talk to and about white people in that way. In that when you talk about an unapologetically Black way, he also wrote a lot of TV shows, wrote a lot of movies, wrote for Richard Pryor, Whoopi Goldberg, Red Fox, you know what I'm saying? And so definitely, salute to the legend, Paul Mooney, who talked about race in such a strong way, but also was funny as hell, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely want to share those things. Anything else? Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
I think that's it. I'm going to be doing a talk with the Pennsylvania Bar Association next week about this year in review of Black Lives Matter. And I think as Pittsburgh emerged nationally, New York Times just did something on Ed, Vice just did something on, Black mayor. It's going to be an interesting discussion that we can kind of add that.
Yeah. And to think about it, like the first time this happened, the first time a mayor running lost since 1933. Damn.
That says a lot. That's
cold-blooded. All right, so so Ask a Black Doctor is tomorrow. Ask a Black until tomorrow at 12. You know what I'm saying? This is May is mental health month. Or until has been having mental health professionals every week. So tune in to until tomorrow at 12 at One Hood Media. And then we have Ask a Black Doctor tomorrow at 7. We'll talk about the new mask mandates, what the CDC did or didn't do. We'll talk about, now I think they're opening vaccinations up to people between 12 and 15. So if you have any vaccination questions, mask questions, or just general medical questions, tune in to Ask a Black Doctor tomorrow at 7 p.m. And you mentioned that vacation, Miracle. We've been working at One Hood. We taking next week off at One Hood. So, there will not be a This Week in White Supremacy next week. We're gonna take a week off. There won't be, what Black Pittsburgh needs to know next week, but we will see y'all in June. So catch us in June. We're gonna take a week off, although some people already went on vacation.
First of all, I worked every day when I was in Mexico. Don't play. I worked every day when I was in Mexico. I was calling people.
Was doing the show from the disco.
Organizing videos. I worked every day. I got to make sure I hit my 9.5 hours in. Don't.
No, you worked very hard, Miracle. Oh, look.
Sean said we owe him 3 more minutes, number 1. Number 2, also, next Saturday, I will be hosting the Allies Ball. If you want to come.
What day is this?
Shinley,
not this upcoming Saturday, the following Saturday.
Next Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
We're doing a fundraiser to do some free healthcare. It's in the park. So you go to Neighborhood Allies. You can sign up. It's 70s themes. Want to come party with us? If you're vaccinated, you can come in person. If you want to wear a mask, you can come in person. It's all up to you, or you can dance to have a ball at your house. So that's what we're doing next week. And then I'll be on my 3rd vacation.
Gotcha. Speaking of that, I did, and keeping it Pittsburgh, we do want to just hold our brother Billy Porter in our prayers. Billy Porter came out today and said he was HIV positive. And so, that's a Pittsburgh legend, somebody that's opened a lot of doors. And so we definitely want to, let's hold that. When you said ball, it just made me think of Pose, and it made me think of his work. And so let's definitely hold up Billy Porter, say a prayer for that brother, that he can make it through, and that he can heal. So any other last thoughts?
Oh, yes. We're going to have One Hood Day coming up. Day's coming. Let us know what you want to see. I'm going for a whole block party barbecue vibe. But if you're
someone cut Miracle's mic, please. She's talking nonsense. She's sounding wild right now.
So you have to come. You don't have to come.
Miracle. Is Bill Patullo?
I'm just asking people what they want.
Is Bill Patullo invited to our barbecue? Is he invited to our barbecue?
I'm trying to see if people ask people what they want to see. I mean, if it's a public property, who am I to deny people a chance to earn a second chance? Who am I to be
he came to One Hood Day. He came to One Hood Day back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
And he can come back again. I just want him to do some self-reflection. He can come, Bill.
You know what I'm saying?
Just because you're trash doesn't mean you're not recyclable. You come in, rebuild. Second and third chances for everyone.
Absolutely.
But what do y'all want to see? Because also, Farouk is gonna be our MC. Is gonna be out here, ladies. Don't worry, I'll have him in the tightest shirt possible for y'all. It's gonna be okay. But think about what y'all want to see for One Hood Day, and please get back to us for that. Because we'll be
that's a great question. Because somebody did ask me. I think we talked about it this morning. Okay, if we start bringing people, who do we want to see? We threw some names out there, so that's a great point. If there's somebody, I thought the curation you did at the Get Out the Vote rally Trouble was really dope. Shout out to all the artists that NLS Ron, Brittany, Zende, JM, Lynn Star,
and
DJ QRX. I enjoyed myself. I thought everybody had JM's he makes some good ass music, you know what I'm saying? So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed how you curated that. I thought everybody did great. So yeah, we're gonna pull up to the block, you know what I'm saying, sometime, and let us know who y'all want us to bring through, you know what I mean? And with that, I think we got It's 7:03, so we got some time. It's been a celebration of Black excellence. You know what I'm saying? This week in Black excellence, we will see y'all.
Stay going. Stay going. You don't get to
in 2 weeks.
No, stay going.
We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Stay going.
Peace and love. Thank you.
Thing out here poppin', only 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 thing out here poppin'. Feeling like a movie lately. I've been a little moody lately. Chillin' with my Lilu Mooney baby. Time get her a little sooner, maybe. I've been chillin'.